What is up, everybody? Today I am going to talk about the first real estate investment property sucking. That's right, it sucks. And I talk a lot on this channel about how getting into the first investment property and ideas to build an investment portfolio. But the honest truth is we don't talk a lot about actually having one and owning one. And today I'm here to tell you it sucks. Stay tuned and I'll tell you why. Hey everybody, Jeremy Kane, eXp Realty. Smash that subscribe button, give me a like. I have a series that I do intermittently on my channel regarding real estate investment. It is my goal to help people build wealth through real estate and become financially free through those real estate investments. So if you have any questions about investment properties, owning investment properties, please comment below, book a call on my Calendly link that is also in the description, and we can absolutely dive into your situation and make sure that you are making the right investment and on the path to financial freedom. All right, the first investment property absolutely sucks, and there's a lot of reasons why. The first reason is that people kind of get into them. Maybe they fall into it. Maybe they inherited a property or they turn their primary residence and they don't come at it with the planning mindset. And as in any investment, owning any home, planning is key. So make your rules. Some example of rules that I've heard successful investors: know the street names in the area you're investing. So to speak, who knows what that really means right now, because in the Denver market especially, some first-time investors are going outside of the market to find a home because it's a little bit cheaper. But understand that if it's cheaper now, that means it appreciates at a much lower rate than, maybe the metro market. So there's kind of give or take. My rule of thumb is never bank on appreciation. So what are some other rules? Maybe you have a cash flow number. The honest truth, in my opinion, if you find a property that cash flows $300 a month, you should absolutely buy it right away if the financing lines up. If you find something that breaks even, maybe it's a good time to get in there. You have a lot of factors right now: higher interest rates, maybe you refinance down the road, whatever that may be. But if you find a property that breaks even right now, I'm going to say it might be a pretty good long-term investment. And the reason I say that, from my own experience, my very first rental property I owned and lived in when I was 18, rented it out to my friends. Sorry, boys. I didn't pay a lot of rent then, but you paid the mortgage. That was great. There was times after I moved out that we had to take a hit. Apparently 11 college kids living in a house over a 3-year period is a little bit hard on the house. So our very first tenant after we moved out, they paid lower rent, they redid the carpet, they repainted, they redid some flooring, they did a lot of stuff to improve the house because they were actually building a custom home. It was a very good deal for them, but it was also a very good situation for me. Getting out of college, starting my career, didn't have a lot of time to put into it. At that time, I was paying maybe $200 a month. Writing that check every single month hurt, but it made so much sense. They were improving the property. I trusted them. They were great tenants, far better than me and my 11 friends. And so that made sense. And then the next month we got a little closer and maybe we were breaking even, or the next year we were a little closer and breaking even. And then after that, we were cash flowing. So it took a little time to go from my primary residence, which was an investment at the time, to cash flowing. Had I not stayed with that property and bit the bullet and paid $200 a month or $150 a month or whatever it was, I would not have my 5 other long-term investment properties right now, because as time went on, rents went up, we refinanced, brought that payment down a little bit, cash flow started going up, appreciation went crazy. We were able to do a cash out refinance on that, pull money out of that, purchase a single family, and then when we sold it, we bought a duplex, and then we're able to buy another duplex after that. So that one property by itself is absolutely responsible for 3 doors, but overall 5 doors that I own today. Had I given up at the time, just broken even or sold it for what it was actually on the market, and we wouldn't have made a ton of money, my life would look a lot different. So my point is that even if it's not the very perfect thing, just get in, make sure you can afford it, obviously, but absolutely understand that the power of appreciation, the power of leveraging someone else's money absolutely changed my life. So it sucks for that reason. The finances are scary. There's maybe some sleepless nights like, oh man, am I going to have to pull out of savings to pay the first mortgage payment? I can't find the right tenants or whatever. In the end, I got paid back 10x, 20x of what my investment was during those times of paying those mortgage payments, fixing the little things that matter. My strategy is a lot different now, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay, so once you get the financing figured out and you're determined, you found your spot, you have your rules, you know what's going on, the financing is key. And the mortgage is probably not that big of a deal compared to some of the other costs you will come up with. I'm at a position now owning multiple properties where I am able to, maybe pay for that 10-year-old water heater that I know is going to go in the next 5 years. I'm able to put that in ahead so I'm not giving my tenants a headache or ruining some of their things and causing a little bit of friction there. If things are going out, it's my goal to make my properties desirable and functional. And everyone knows, like, when you can't take a shower for 2 days and you have to get somebody in there, first of all, it costs a little more money, but also it's a headache. And they're going to talk to their friends and the, next people or whatever and be like, yeah, it took them 4 days to replace water heater. So I try and get ahead of the maintenance on that. I totally understand if you're like, I can't just, be replacing a perfectly good water heater. But the nicer that you keep your properties, putting a little money up front, investing if you have some cash on hand, painting the kitchen cabinets, making it look more modern, flooring, maybe get some, we've gone to complete LVP flooring in all of our rentals. As they turn over, we jump in there and, put the more durable flooring in, and it looks better. So it looks more modern. Paint the walls, make sure there's window coverings, and all of that, clean the furnaces, all of that stuff that helps the longevity is absolutely key to us getting better tenants, more rent, and so on. So a little bit of investment up front, know that. And then just expect headaches. Like, even doing this, things happen. Whether it's our big thing is washers and dryers. We have a ton of washers and dryers because we have 2 duplexes, a single family, and now a short-term rental. So we've shuffled washers and dryers. We bought used washers and dryers. I swear I've probably bought 10 washers and dryers over the last 2 years. It's probably a little bit of a exaggeration, but the honest truth is that I just stopped. I was like, okay, quit buying used washer and dryers. Buy, new ones. Doesn't have to be top of the line, but if they're new, they'll last longer. And I was sick of moving washer and dryers out of basements and over here and over there. So that is absolutely something that we had to deal with. And we understand that our thing is washers and dryers. So know that things are going to break. And if everything's brand new and perfect, you're going to pay top dollar. So these rental properties and income properties absolutely are, going to have breakdowns. So understand that. And it's a lot of people, in the investment space, the flippers and all this, talk about cash flow, must cash flow, must cash flow, must cash flow. The honest truth is, if you can break even over the next, 2 or 3 years, you're doing something right. Our appreciation's going crazy. Someone else is paying down your principal. It's a little scary. I get it. And once you get into more and more rental properties, then there's all kinds of options. Make sure you're talking to your accountant and your attorneys about commingling funds and things of that nature. But once you have multiple, then that vacancy, maybe 2 extra weeks to find the perfect tenant, is much better, investment than taking the very first one that maybe you don't know, you're not so sure about. Take your time with tenants, make sure that they have their applications, they have their background checks, all that stuff done. It's super easy now with all of the programs that are available. But that is something that had us turn the corner. Essentially, I just quit picking tenants and my wife handled it all, and she's much better than I am. And I'm here to tell you, we haven't taken the very perfect application every time. Sometimes you get to know people and it just makes sense at the time or whatever. We've taken chances on bad credit, and a lot of stuff has panned out our way and a lot of stuff hasn't. But take the extra time, find the right tenant, someone who's going to take care of your property. and move from there. So just know that the first one will absolutely be difficult, but stick through it. If you're doing the house hacking thing and moving every year, that first one is going to be an accelerated experience. You may live in the property as if you're buying a home to make it an investment property. Make your improvements with that in mind, and it'll change the way that it rents when you go to move on to your next home and make your life a lot easier. So Jeremy Kane, eXp Realty, thanks for tuning in. If you want to talk about your situation and book a call with me about how you get into your first one, how you manage your first one, what it's going to look like after you buy your first one, I'm absolutely here for the ride. I love planning and helping people on their journey to financial freedom. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.